We'll try this again. Hi, this is Kabar user. I was talking to a gentleman by the name of Hawk on the Alabama Owens channel live chat a couple of weeks ago, and he offered to send me an original World War II Kabar. Now there's a lot of different variants. The Navy had a Mark II with the bent down quillions. The Marines had the regular Kabar with the hand guard or quillion, whatever you want to call it. They were kind of bent, angled back, and the Navy models were both bent forwards because they came in a plastic sheath, and the quillions came down over the top of the plastic sheath. Now, unfortunately, when I did the original video, my battery went dead, of course, as it always does. So it's already out of the box. But this is the knife he sent me. Just a quick comparison. The sheath itself is obviously World War II. The sheath itself's got one row of stitching and rivets in it. You can see the rivets going down. Now, I never really had a chance to review a World War II sheath compared to the newer models. This is one from a 2000 manufacturer, Kabar. It's just an extra one I had here. But I always thought these rivets were just, you know, because they wanted to get cheap, because all the ones I've ever owned had staples in, which I'll show you in a second. Now that I have an original World War II one, this is made to the original World War II specs. Even the rivets are lined up in the same spot. Leather's a little bit thinner on these newer ones, though. I have to admit that. They went to a really cheap type leather. Now, this is the one I bought in the 80s that I carried with me. And if you can see right below my finger there, there's staples in it. All the ones I've ever seen, even from the Vietnam era, had staples in. So I just thought, you know, Kabar was trying to save money and rivet the sheath, but it turns out that's the original specs. So, on to the knife. Here is the knife. And just generally overall, it feels like a Kabar. It's a nice knife. One thing I was surprised with, though, it does have the bent quillion on it. Handguard, whatever you want to call it. So therefore, that tells me it is a Mark II. I looked it over with a microscope before, or a magnifying glass, and it's not bent. Somebody bent it like that. That's done professionally. The handle itself is a little bit thinner than my Kabar. It's more flat, and the big rings for the grip is not there. But this is really nice. It's comfortable, even more so than my Kabar. The pommel itself is not a pinned one. It's a screw-on. You can see the back right there, which is actually a good idea, because when these leather washers get loose from being in dry weather and whatnot, you can just take this and give it a turn and tighten them right back up. Now, as far as sharpness, now remember, this is a World War II model, and what was that, 60, 70 years ago, something like that. So it's at least 70 years old, or 60 years old. We'll leave it at 60 because that would have been Korea War. So it's at least 60 years old. But as far as the edge, it's got a few hang-ups. I mean, I'm sure for a knife that age it should, but it's sharp as a razor for that, you know, for being as old as it is. So I want to thank you very much, Hawk. That was very generous of you. Just for a quick comparison, though, this is my 80s Kabar. You can see the handle is a full tang, or a rat tang pinned. You can see the difference in the leather. The handles, they've got the rings with the compressed leather, and it's kind of like a bowed here. It's not really all that flat. The quillions themselves are bent back, and the USMC logos, they're basically kind of rounded on mine. So that's my 80s model. This is the World War II one. And you can see the big difference in handles right off the bat, and pommels. the Quillian. The USMC, I don't know if you can see it on this because it's really light, but it's more blocky. And it's you know, defined straight, no rounded corners, nothing. It does say Kabar or Ole, New York on it. So just an overall comparison. We landed to it about this one from World War II. It seems to be just a hair smaller, maybe about a quarter of an inch overall than the newer model. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing some stuff this year, and I'll be using this too. I'm kind of whittling down my gear to make, you know, put everything together and make one good kit rather than having pieces again, 3 or 4 different kits, and this will definitely come in handy. Alright, well, I want to thank you, Hawk. This is Kabar user. I'd like to thank you for your time and your patience. And if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.